All right, testing one. Mic check. Yeah. Oh, shoot. I'm playing games here. All right, one, two, three, four. All right, let's go. Oh, hang on a second. I forgot to do that. I forgot to share. Oh boy, this is gonna take time. Ah, then it kills again. No, I'm losing frames again. Oh my god, here we go again with the frames. Okay, let's get back up. God damn it. Why? And I have my settings up. Yeah, I do that. Didn't I? It's gonna be. Alright. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Today is another Monday. Today is another Monday, y'all. Today is another Monday. What's up? What's up? What's up? Names. You know who I am? Element Reptile. Welcome to my stream. Welcome to my art stream. I'm your artist, illustrator, graphic designer, and everything so forth and so forth. You already know. What's up, everybody? It's already August, the 18th, and I think we're about to get this soon graded. You know what the title is right now. Man, I know. I'm sorry. I look fugly as hell, dog. I look hella fugly. This haircut, I got the wrong barber. I mean, look, it looks so freaking bland, dog. It looks so fugly, dog. I look like a Honduran migrant, dog. I look like I came from the Tapón de Darien, man. Oh God. But anyways, I'm gonna be doing a new project, a new illustration, or somewhat. This time we're paying tribute to a very known attraction. We all had to give our condolences. Let's all give ourselves a warm, well, a farewell to one attraction that I wish it didn't need to go down. Pero it's already been 16 years. Yes, I'm talking about none other than Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit, y'all. Well, I'm playing good song music today because I'm deep inside me. I'm I'm hella sad. I'm hella sad actually. I'm hella sad. To be real with y'all. But anyways, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. We're gonna be doing this, so we just gotta get this thing on the way. Anyways, let's get this going, man. It's it's a hard thing to deal with. The fact that something like this has to go down. But I'm gonna keep the music going on. That's for sure. Like dead ass. But yeah, and yeah, let's go talk. Let's go see the highlights on this right here. Yes, it has already been day. Today was the day. It's been already official. Hollywood Red Rockets no more. I did tell you guys I went to there. I did not tell everybody, hey, I went there. I'll go. I'm gonna be going there. I'm gonna ride that thing until I pass out, and I did pass out. I did pass out. Man, I could have bought the Farewell Tour 2025. Shit. I wish I could have bought the 2025 thing because because everyone was getting it. Everyone was racking up about it. But I don't think that matters. Yeah, I don't think that matters. I'm just trying to think about what am I going to do. All right, now let's see how this works. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if I can draw this. But also, I want to be genuine. Maybe I gotta add the tower too. Okay, come on. Right here. I should add seats. Maybe I should add seats in this bitch. No, I do have to add seats. But what I'm going to add, I don't know. Let's see. I'm playing some good ass music, I'll tell you that. I remember when I was there, man, what a lot of us. When I was there, I was hearing what nonstop Darude Sandstorm. But I did hear Lil Jon and all that good stuff. I did hear those guys. No cap. And concentrating. I'm just trying to figure out the concept. What do I want for my project? But this, on the other hand, without a doubt, this one without a doubt. Farewell 2025. Now these merches were there. I had it there. I saw these guys on City Walk. I saw it on fucking in Islands of Adventure as well. It's because I'm watching two screens. Okay, I see. Yeah, I see. Let's see what these guys have to say. Look at that. I was there. I was there. Roll this thing 5 times. 5 times. Oh man, oh man. I have to think about how to drop people on this one. Look at all that cross. Though, I heard there are some videos we're gonna watch on. I want to watch soon on YouTube. I want to watch some stuff on YouTube that maybe there. Ugh, my screen's so small. Oh, yep, buddy. Right here too. Oh, this was an animation one, right? No, no, it's real. Uh, I had all the open chances to go on this ride for like back in my grad bash, or better yet, through my birthday. I was there in middle school, but I never had the chance to ride this ride. Sorry. Damn, I hate switching. Let me turn this thing on. Okay, what else? What else? Shit. Rip Ride Rockit, man. Fattest dick. Nigga. Or get me out of here. Here to watch shorts, boy. Boom. Mm. Well, let's go see what else I have here. T-shirts, the souvenirs. I was there. Yep, they're mad expensive. That's another question. Ah, these images. They had these images. Ooh, I've seen these images on the magazines before. Yeah, these were on magazines back in 2012. This image was shot in 2012, and it still looks good. They don't do this. They don't do this kind of stuff anymore. And then I seen these guys too. I didn't see these guys on the last day, but those were apparently the face actors, the face characters, the characters of Hollywood Rocket, right? Basically cosplay. Imagine, I mean, even though this is just normal stuff, they don't look cosplay enough. But hey, man, hey, man, bro, if I see somebody nail that cosplay, of Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit and Ocala Comic Con coming to September, I will lick that person's feet. I will lick her feet in such an illegal way and to get arrested. Okay. Oh yeah, I didn't draw this part. Or maybe I should put something else. Or maybe I should add another card. I could do it. Yeah, I mean, because I'd be drawing this and it'll be like a long time. What if I could do something? Shit, I could. Something. Let me see something else. That's number one. That's number one. Oh yeah. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. That hurts. And you can see it far away. You can see it from there. Oof. Oof. Oh man, that looks dope. On the on a spring, that looks dope. Oh yeah. That's every Gen Zer now. These what Gen. That's what every people in my generation look like right now. They're looking like this. People dressing like this. Shit. Especially with that. You know, especially with the gauge. Ah man. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Let me concentrate on this one. I don't know if I'm doing it right. Ooh, I think I got the. Oh, that's an old photo. But I'm trying to get a better one. What's just a better one? Mm-mm. Damn. It's gotta be a really good one. I need a really good one. All over on ceiling. Oh man. Maybe this one. Let's see. What? Oh hell. This happens all the time. Or no. Could it be? Oh man. Or somewhere. Damn. Gotta be a good tower site. Damn. Okay, that's one. Yeah, that's right there. It's the photos right here. Yep, they officially started taking it out. Yep, this one too. They took it out officially. That's the start of it. But we still have Velocicoaster, that's for sure. Velocicoaster is gonna be like the new Rip Ride Rockit, but they better make something good. They have not announced it yet. They have not announced yet what ride they're gonna put in. Ah, fuck. Where is this? Kind of like that. No, I don't know. I thought I had a good one. I saw a really good one, but no, they don't have the tower for it. Ooh, that's gay. Oh, there it is. This is the one I'm looking for. But I just see. I need to see a specific size, or maybe I could just take this, right? Ugh. Oh, let me do that again. Let me take this out. Oh. This looks good. No. Come on. Okay. Please. Dun. Woof. Please. And then I could take another roller coaster track. Let's see. Come on. Mm-mm-mm. No, give me Magnum. No, Cedar Point. Just trying to find some good tracks. None of that European BS. Some good tracks. Kind of like that. That's coming up. Or maybe it's gonna take way too long. Oof. Mm-mm. Let's see, what did I see? These are. No. No. Alright, let's do this. Oh my god, don't tell me. Shit locked out of me. Hmm. No. No. Mm-mm. Sometimes I gotta close out on me. Hope to God doesn't. Oh my God, it does close out on you. Oh my God, that's pretty gay. It closes out on you again. Why does it do that? Oh my God. Okay, I think. Bad news, guys. It doesn't let you. I'm not gonna be able to cut it. All right, I'm gonna be able to cut it. So I have to cut in smaller things. Cause I have to draw it. Damn, I have to draw it. I don't want to draw this. Shit, it's gonna be so long, time taking. Now it's kind of crossing out on me again. Okay. Okay, now I have to do it. Damn, this is gonna take some. Just gonna take time up like a ass, dog. But anyways, where was I? Where was I? Oh yes, indeed. Well, since I am not there, let's check out that. Oh, this one's compared kinetic. No, but that's not it. So now officially it's been locked out. Oh yes, there you go. It's Coaster Works. Coaster Woof. Oh, this guy. No, but he's new. He's new actually. No, I don't ever heard of this guy. Oh, but Coaster Force is there. I know for sure. I gotta give a shout out. Yo, like I need to talk about Coaster Force. I'm gonna tell you something about Coaster Force. I grew up as a kid watching watching their videos. Non-stop theme parks, theme park rides, and all that good stuff. Woo! They've been on in the YouTube game for for 2 decks. I'll tell you that. They've been in the game in YouTube for a couple of lifespan. The shit. Sorry about that. Shit got disconnected for a moment because I had many things play. But anyways, like I said, Coaster Force, I grew up watching, and they've had many Rip Ride Rock roller coaster rides. They've been through around the world. I mean, these guys do ride roller coasters for a living. Isn't that a dream? That's something I yearned to do as a kid. Well, though I'm in Orlando, so I live in the Mecca. I live in the Mecca side of parks. There's so much to do here. Yeah, they cost a lot, but A, it's worth it for the game. Damn, this one's gonna be good. Let's see this right here. All right, inside Universal. Let's see these guys. Construction walls have been set up around Hollywood Rocket officially. Ah man, arreste pasen. 3 legendary coasters closing permanently today. Sad day to be a roller coaster enthusiast. Thankful to ride all 3. Oh, Terror, Tiger Terror at Safari Land. That's out of the country. Switchback at ZDTs. I think that's in the United States. Or that's somewhere else. But Rip Ride Rockit, yes. I am so glad that I rode that shit like 3 times. No, 5 times. Goddamn. Fuck, if I could just do a cut and copy, but I can't because this shit gets me errors. This is gonna take mad minutes, I'll tell you that. I know for sure that one. And then uh, what else? Who else? Oh yeah, the Sharknado. This one. Oh my God, this Sharknado is so stupid. Yeah, it was also filmed at Universal. Like, remember, you guys remember Sharknado? Who remembers Sharknado? Like G shit. Who remembers Sharknado? That shit was funny. That shit was so clueless, but yeah, it was just. It's so fun. It's so fun. And I think, aren't there any more B sci-fi original movies out there? Bro, sci-fi original movies. Where are they? Okay, let me see. Where are those sci-fi original movies? Bro, imagine that, bro. Dude, the last the last of that is in Anaconda versus Python. I remember that. Because after the first Anaconda, just everything just went to dog shit. But I really need another track. Oh yeah, there's Hollywood. Oh yeah. So and this one right here, Sharknado. Stupid as hell. But this one, but anyways, although this one was from 2019. Oh, I could say more of that. Hollywood Dream 2007 open Hollywood Dream the Ride. Yeah. Oh yeah, this one. Okay. Airtime Traveler once said right here. Did you know that Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit was not Universal Studios' first music-themed roller coaster? Uh, so this was neither. No, of course not. It was Disney's Rip Rockit roller coaster. Although Universal was the first theme park to do interactive uh, in roller coasters. That's for sure. Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit, no, the Rocket roller coaster in Disney's Hollywood Studios and in Paris, they did. Um, they have songs, but there was actually just like there, like it was automatic. That's for sure. That they have that automatic. So Universal, although it says it right here, in 2000s, in the mid 2000s, Universal Studios Japan opened Hollywood Dream the Ride. This 144 feet tall B&M Hyper was designed less around extreme forces and more about immersive onboard sound and lighting. Similar to Rip Ride Rockit, riders choose from one of 5 available songs. These songs rotated throughout the years. Upon opening, the songs were "Homebound" by John Bovi, this and that, "Lose Yourself" by Eminem, "Get Back," "Osaka Lover," "My Dreams Come True," "The Wing Named by You" by Kopokuro. They also have like Japanese-based artists out there too. Nowadays, the coaster features a couple of songs as well as story rides, which are audio, including Spy X Family too. Hey, that's dope. Additionally, in 2013, the park started operating with the coaster with some train facing forwards and some facing backwards. The backward experience is marketed separately as Hollywood Dream Backdrop and is known as signature to cues. To this day, the BM Hyper is known to operate with backwards trains. Hollywood Dream's success directly inspired because Universal Universal Studios in Japan is a different. It's the same logo, but they have a different position. That's the one. It's the same. It's the same brand, but different position. That's there's a habit to that. There's a habit to that. So yeah, the company went to. So why Morier instead of B&M? Maurer. The company was deep into development, construction, Wizard World of Harry Potter. Oh yeah, they did. And this was really just a consolation attraction to appease guests since the Wizarding World was behind schedule. It was a hell of a appeasing concept. B&M is well known for being the most expensive coaster manufacturer. B&M, yes, just all remember that one. Let's all remember that. Okay, B&M, right? Rip Ride Rockit will also feature a lot of upgrades compared to Hollywood Dreams. Larger song selection, yes. Touchscreens, yes. Did as yeah. So Hollywood Big Dream. So this is I just found out that this was the first coaster. It was the first ride to put music in a roller coaster, but interactively. This was the first one. Oh yeah, this was the first one. But then 2009 came around. 2009 came around, and then you play touchscreens. Thanks to Steve Jobs' iPhone. I think this was like that was in the 2 years after the Steve Jobs brought out the iPhone. Touchscreens were just like 2 years later. Touchscreens just go all over the place. Yeah, and then there's the amount of events that went down after that. But that doesn't change the fact that that Rip Ride Rocket was inspired. I guess it was inspired. If that's the case, because I know Hollywood Dream was never the way. It was Rock and Roller Coaster. HR, yeah, Hollywood was much better than what is arguably the weakest BM Hyper. Yeah, bro. Yeah, which is weird because you hear like hate among the like the maneuverisms of Rip Ride Rocket. You hear the hate for some reason. Right? Yeah, I hear a lot of hate. After today, it will become the fourth coaster whisker on airtime to has been retired. Wildcat Episode 2, Anaconda. Oh shit. Wow, this is gonna suck. But I'm so glad that I rode that thing 5 times. I haven't through my life. I have not yet ridden Rip Ride Rocket through my life, and I get to ride it. Oh, already 26, age 26. No, age 25. 2025. I guess everything paid off on me. Damn it. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, this one's gonna be quite difficult to do. Shit. What did I put into this? Oh, hell, yeah. It kind of like this? No, 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 no. I know these are V shapes. No, they need to bring. That's another thing they need to do is bring back V-shaped tracks. I need V-shaped roller coasters. There you go. The cut. the face characters for Rip Ride Rockit. Somebody better cosplay that. But no. Actually, these two guys, that's already today. That's the Y2K people. That's the Y2K kids today. No, but hey, if you cosplay these characters, yes. Oh yeah, this one. To promote Hollywood Red Rockets 2009 to promote in Hollywood Red Rocket in 2009, Universal Orlando created an original character. Oh yeah, that too. Sid Vine, a rock legend who consulted on the coaster and the roller coaster. Oh, yeah, you forget. And now he's becoming a. They could do the funniest thing and bring him back for the last day. They could have. That would be the funniest shit. They would have. Oh, but this was in 2020. Oh, this was during the pandemic. Man, many concerts there. Dude, this was the best thing to look at. Oh shit. Oh yeah, I had to do this one. Oh fuck. No? What did I do in this one? Yeah, this one's gonna be tough. I knew. I wish I could clip it all off, so I don't need to do all that. But look, yeah, concert right there, bro. Marsh like a rave party in that roller coaster. That already happened actually. The first people talking about how rave it's all over TikTok that Zed performed in Universal. I call it. He's not the first one. Paul Okafor was the first one. Paul Okafor was the first one. That's for sure. This guy right there. He's like, it's like he can't even take it. But here we are, in a sense. What they can do. Oh, this was a good design. The Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets in the Muppet is the Muppet Vision 3D and Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit reincarnated. Let's see. Oh, so basically this. Oh, that's just a concept. Artist concept only. Yeah, that's just a concept. If they willing to do it, it's that like they need to refer. They kind of need to like repolish that ride. They need to really repolish that ride, the Rock and Roller Coaster. But like I said before too, again, Rock and Roller Coaster started this. Rock and Roller Coaster started that before Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit. Like let's see. I want to see. Okay. Actually, let me ask Grok. Which one that played music in the coast. This came first. Rockin' or I know I am so sure it's Rock and Roller Coaster or Hollywood a big dream at Universal Japan at Disney. Look, I know for sure. It has to be. Yep, I was right. It opened 1999. This was the one. Yep, it started in 2007 on Universal's hand. So yeah, so Universal took influence on Disney's Rock and Roller Coaster, without a doubt. But what Rock and Roller Coaster didn't have was Rip Ride Rockit. And what I mean by that, I'm meaning they didn't have the option to play the music that you choose. I heard that way back. The Rip Ride Rockit had more songs. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. This is going to take a while. I wish I could just do. I didn't need to do all this. I just really want the model. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Something like this. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, many images right now. Rest in peace. Nourishing gnarly memories. Right here. She is screaming her lungs out. That was long ago, but 2019. Damn. The years. Oh hell no. Oh hell no. They did not say. Nah. Yo, Spirit Halloween needs to be examined, bro. They need to be on the site, man. They need to be on the watch, bro, because they're taking over everywhere. They're just saying, all right, bro. Imagine that, bro. Imagine Rock and Roller Coaster shuts down and just call it Spirit Halloween, the roller coaster, bro. What's going on over there in Spirit Halloween, bro? Like literally, they would take over. They would go to an abandoned ass place, and then just take over. Bro, how do they do that? Like, where do these people come from, bro? Like, these are the most. They're the most homeless. like the most homeless company you ever see. For real, bro. Spirit Halloween ass. Oh my god. Yo, you're doing that right dirty, bro. You're doing it right. Oh man, imagine that. Yeah, they don't mess around when it's Halloween. I regret not tagging Halloween Spirit Halloween. Man, they are the most homeless ass brand I've ever in the nation. Who else misses that? Oh, that would have been perfect. Oh, they did had a drone show in the Celestial. It's true. That looks so dope. Because it's in Florida. Oh yeah, it's in Florida. It was amazing. Oh, this guy. I think this guy. Oh, he's on the Pacific side. Yeah, bro. Rest in peace, Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit. I never got to go in it because it's in Florida, LMFAO. I will never go there, but it's truly an iconic roller coaster that I really wish it did. Yeah, it was. Despite its negative hate because of its maintenance and the jackiness, they say yeah, about that. Anyway, I've been hearing that, but I think there are YouTube videos right now out there talking about it. I mean, actually, let's go see it. I think it's there. It's there for sure. Yeah, let's go check this guy out. Oh my god, this Chick-fil-A BS dog. I hate that. Bro, enough with these ads, man. Y'all some annoying ass ads. Jesus Christ. Hate ads.
Since its opening, Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit has been one of Universal's most controversial coasters. Some people have loved it, and some people have hated it. But why are the opinions on Rockit so divided and polarized? Was Rockit secretly a good coaster all along? Welcome back to Coasters Dissected, the series where we take a look at individual coasters and determine why they work, why they don't, and what they mean to the industry as a whole. Today we're looking at how Universal's most controversial coaster came to be, and if it was truly Florida's worst coaster, or if it was just simply misunderstood. First, if you love coasters and theme parks, then good. Me too.
Oops. What did I do? Oh man, no.
Since its opening, Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit has been one of Universal's most controversial coasters. Some people have loved it, and some people have hated it. But why are the opinions on Rockit so divided and polarized? Was Rockit secretly a good coaster all along? Welcome back to Coasters Dissected, the series where we take a look at individual coasters and determine why they work, why they don't, and what they mean to the industry as a whole. Today we're looking at how Universal's most controversial coaster came to be, and if it was truly Florida's worst coaster, or if it was just simply misunderstood. First, if you love coasters and theme parks, then good. Me too. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because because that's what we always discuss here, and I would love for you to be a part of it.
Wizard of the Rocket.
In the mid-2000s, Universal Orlando was not the behemoth and success that it is now. Don't get me wrong, the parks were still great, but certainly nowhere near the caliber that they are today.
It's crazy because I think around when 1999 Islands of Adventure opened, that was like the kind of like the start of it, where we already know that at the time it was Disney. Yeah, I mean it wasn't there at the time. It wasn't up there, but it was strong. All I could say, it was strong. Universal, but back then, I think I remember in the 2000s. I think when I was born, yeah, I was born in the 2000s. I grew up there. I was 6 years old when I first came to, yeah, 6 years old when I first came to Universal. I went to Universal Studios. Got introduced to Twister. Scared the living F out of me. But I heard, and I came back. I came back to Islands of Adventure. Now, Universal, I think they had iconic blockbuster movies that we all grew up, but it wasn't. Yeah, when I do know that when there was the Marvel Hero Island, no one stopped them. No, like I wasn't there when it wasn't created. I wasn't there when it was created, was being built. But yeah, man, I remember Marvel, bro. Like before Disney bought it and and possessed it like a demon. Yeah, it was it was all over the place. But Marvel, we still have the contract of Marvel. We still have the contract with Marvel.
This was being owned and sold by several predatory investment firms.
Yes, it was being sold by several predatory firms at the time. But Universal still had its theme parks. I always kind of believe that Universal is its own thing. I don't think it should have been. It was that way. If it was at that weakest state, I know Universal had a Comcast and all that good stuff. Like right now, well, Universal right now is partnered with Comcast, which I kind of think that Universal is much older than Comcast. Comcast has more money, but Universal is much older than that, you know?
And also the economic conditions of the mid-2000s, starting with the events of 2001. I'm talking, of course, about the 5th season of The View premiering. Plus, Universal had a bit of itself to blame, with the botching of Islands of Adventure's opening, and the whole Universal Escape debacle. All of that would change when a certain land for a certain boy wizard was being developed. Yes, the ambitious wizarding world of Harry Potter Hogsmeade was slated to open in 2009 at the park, and as we know, would be an absolute smash hit, igniting a renaissance in the company that is still echoing today. But Harry Potter brought a big problem. The land was going to be popular. Granted, I don't think Universal realized just how popular, but it was always going to be a success. It was a big old land for a very popular IP. However, Islands was the only one getting the major expansion, and Studios was getting the shorter end of the stick. The concern that the park's attendance would be cannibalized by the boy wizard was a very real concern. So Universal wanted something big, something grand, something thrilling. Of course, a coaster would be the perfect addition to get some people through the turnstiles at Studios. But who would build such a coaster? Which manufacturer could deliver something that was both high capacity and thrilling? Well, this is where Rockit's many controversies began.
A toasty Thomas's bread.
Yes, it was. Yeah, Universal. I went to Universal Studios for the shows and Men in Black. That's what they had. Islands of Adventures. They had a partnership, I think, in the 90s. They did have that partnership with the stuff they had. Harry Potter did shot the whole park up like a motherfucker out there. On God, yeah. I was in Universal. I went to the Harry Potter ride in 2012. This was like I was in sixth grade. I was in sixth grade at the time. No, seventh. No, 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 no. What was I saying? Sixth grade. Yeah, I was in sixth grade in the school at school at the time. At the time, yeah. And when it was kind of lesser known because Disney was blasting it. I think the reason why Disney blasted more back then because they had the genuine storytelling and the rides. The Disney mountains, like Big Thunder, like Big Thunder Mountain, Expedition Everest, Space Mountain, Splash Mountain, which they criminally destroyed. Um, yeah, then yeah, those mountains, yeah, those mountains, Space Mountain, all that good stuff. Disney's Animal Kingdom 2, they had that, Disney's Dinosaur Expedition, those guys, and that's where everyone went at the time, right? But what they also had that I don't think anybody was well aware was Star Wars. Star Wars probably was the one that kept the Hollywood studios to its core. And that's what I know of. But since Disney had Star Wars, then Harry Potter came in because it was such a huge franchise at the time. And it was still continuing. It was the last ones. We had the Black Half Blood Prince. Then we had the first Deathly Hallows. But that's when they started planning it, and they collided with Warner's, and then boom, Alex Adventures had you know, they had Harry Potter when I was there, and then boom, yeah, there you go, there you have it.
In March 2007, Universal Japan opened Hollywood Dream the Ride, a B&M mini hyper, not hyper. Particularly, Hollywood Dream utilizes B&M's hypertrains in a hyper-type layout without actually crossing the 200-foot threshold to be considered a hyper. Hollywood Dream was a huge success at Universal Japan with its fun and floaty layout and the ability for you to pick your own soundtrack during the coaster. It's not a record breaker, but it doesn't need to be. It's a fun and approachable coaster for a lot of people. Plus, it has the high capacity and throughput that B&M is known for. So naturally, when it came time for Universal to build a coaster in Orlando, B&M was the first call, given the success of Hulk and our dearly departed
Oh
Dwayne
yeah.
Johnson. Moment of silence. B&M was the perfect fit for a Universal Studios Florida version of Hollywood Dream the Ride. Universal immediately began construction on an airtime-packed B&M coaster at Studios that ran reliably and only had one mid-course block section. It opened as one of my favorite coasters at Universal, and still to this day, I ride it every time I go. Thanks for watching. Yeah, so B&M was busy. Whether it was last-minute planning on Universal's part or simply B&M's popularity, an airtime-filled B&M just wasn't going to be done in time for the looming 2009 arrival of Harry Potter. Personally, this was where the controversies over Rocket begin for me personally. The internet forums back in the day were ablaze with the rumors of a new B&M in Florida, and it seemed like Universal was going to get a really exciting replica of Hollywood Dream. Keep in mind, this is way before Velocicoaster, Iron Gwazi, and even Mako down the road.
Yeah.
So naturally, I was very excited about it. And then it didn't happen.
No. I think, man, I believe Mako didn't need to get crazy. We just had high tech before Mako. No, I think I don't think he mentioned Rip Rock and Roller Coaster. That's for sure.
It's important to remember at the time that Intamin as well was not the powerhouse that it is today. Although they could have
Oh,
built something, they were
yeah, I need to talk about Intamin, man. Intamin. Let's see, Intamin Productions, Intamin, AG. Yeah, these guys have been doing it. First piece of track for Tokyo Disney Space Mountain. Oh shit. Yeah, no, Intimate have been into it. I think right there. Where are you guys? Oh no, they don't have a top, guys. Oh yeah, they have their own. They have their own. Yeah, but Intimate
Liability.
back then, the Intimate back then, they were just new guys. They were just like puppies on the block. They were like just like rookies. And B&M as quite known. I think there were other ones from like I think the United States.
Was not to the standard Universal was looking for just yet. Also, Premier Rides probably could have done something, but I don't know what happened there either. So the question became, which reliable and consistently great manufacturer would Universal turn to construct their major headliner coaster for 2009? Oh boy.
Get fresh groceries delivered to your door
These
with
ads,
Kroger
bro.
Delivery.
I might get blocked for this. The
In
X
2005, a coaster by the name of G-Force would open at Drayton Manor in England. The coaster was manufactured by a relatively unknown manufacturer at the time, named Maurer AG, or just
Maurer.
Maurer today.
Maurer. That's how
G-Force
you
would
call it.
feature a unique style of train called the X-Car, a kind of unique stadium-style train, yet compact design that allows for tight maneuvering through a relatively small space. Another unique aspect of the X-Car coaster was the inverted lift, known as the Humpty Bump lift. Oh god, why was B&M busy? Unlike a conventional inclined lift, the lift on G-Force was similar to a standard vertical loop. At the top of the lift, riders are suspended upside down, and the train was released to traverse 2 more inversions. Don't get me wrong, G-Force certainly looks cool, and the concept was interesting.
Oh,
However,
what the
opinions
fuck?
of G-Force
Wait.
were to traverse 2 more
Nah,
inversions.
European. Hold on. You're telling me this thing it does a build up, a climb upside down? Nah, that's crazy. Nah, European roller coasters are something else.
Don't get me wrong, G-Force certainly looks cool, and the concept was interesting. However, opinions of G-Force were mixed. One of the main complaints was that the restraints were uncomfortable, sometimes making the riders experience pain. As well, the now defunct coaster did have some technical issues that ultimately led to its removal in 2018. But in the mid-2000s, somehow Universal caught wind of this new X-Car design and contracted Maurer to work on a brand new coaster in Orlando, at, mind you, one of the most popular theme park resorts in the world.
Yes.
Hiya, Sid Vinyl here in the flesh with a big announcement and to say hello to all my fans. Hello. I've got a project I'm working on that's bound to blow your brain. And I know what you're thinking, how could Sid possibly top his 87 tour where he rode a ginormous pyrotechnic fire-breathing dragon over the crowd? That's a good point, really, but I think I've done it. Universal Orlando Resort has created a wicked new coaster called the Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit. And it's great because you get to listen to your favourite music in it. But anyway, you get to listen and pick your own favourite song, and you get to star in your own music video. Amazing. They came to me, of course, because I'm Sid Vinyl, musical legend, and they wanted to pick my brain to get a lot of the rock and roll bits that are floating around in there.
Yeah, that's shot in Universal itself. That shit was shot in Universal. Oh yeah, and speaking because he's talking about called Shed Vinyl. I mean, I never heard of this guy. I don't know about. I think I saw another guy, other characters. I remember that, but what I remember in City Walk back in the 2000s, Virgin label wasn't Virgin Records wasn't City Walk. Hold up a second. I gotta check that out. Virgin. Yeah, I remember. Ooh, shit. Yeah, no. I know it was Virgin Records, Megastore at Disney World, yes, but was it in City Walk, Orlando? Because the guy who owns Virgin Records was had his label and clothing brand all over in City Walk. Yeah, he had them. He had, yeah. I didn't go there, but this was in New York. I'm talking about Universal Studios, Virgin. Yeah, no, it was there. It was there. Despite Hard Rock, Hard Rock is something else. It's not responding. The last response. But yeah,
And so I've been teaming up with their engineers to kind of really fuse some great ideas. So it's been pretty neat. So I can't say a lot more, but stay tuned, and we'll be telling you more soon.
fucking Chick-fil-A ass. Get out. These ads, bro. I have to put Clippy. I have to change my profile picture to a Clippy for that bullshit.
Be it timing, budget, or some prank that got wildly out of hand, Maurer would be chosen to build this new coaster, eventually called Rip Ride Rockit, which, first off, the name. Guys, come on now. The coaster would be billed as a state-of-the-art new prototype coaster, featuring the aforementioned X-Car, and the ability to choose your own soundtrack as you ride. It seemed quite interesting. And quite frankly, seeing the concept art for the new attraction did get me personally excited.
Yes.
But that was simply just the beginning. Construction began in May 2008 with preliminary land clearing, which saw the removal of some of Twister Ride It Out's
yes.
Rest in peace, outdoor extended
yeah, Twister.
The first track piece
Twister Ride It Out. Oof, man, that shit scared the hell out of me. I had such fear of tornadoes when I first experienced the Twister Ride It Out experience. It was not a ride. It was just like a little show. It was just like a little show.
Were installed during the week of December 7th, 2008. In February 2009, Universal launched a website for the attraction, which included a construction blog and photographs chronicling progress of the attraction's construction. The track layout was completed at the end of April 2009, with the crowning of the lift hill. Everything was right on schedule. However, in April 2009, Universal confirmed that the roller coaster would not open as originally planned, and said it would open in the summer. Though Universal never mentioned exactly what the problem was with the coaster, it was believed that there was a problem with the anti-rollback devices on the lift hill that caused the delay. Rockit was actually to feature a silent dual-chain lift hill that would act as a redundancy chain lift in the event the one chain breaks. It didn't work, and Rockit's loud clickety-clack lift hill echoed through production central in the front half of Universal Studio for years. It's not like RMC loud, but it's not B&M hyper quiet either. It's just, it would have been nice for the dual chain thing to work.
I mean, it was just like every regular roller coaster. It's not like you want to make it completely prototype silent. You're gonna hear clanking no matter what. You're gonna hear clanking no matter what.
But those issues were resolved, and Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit began public previews in mid-August 2009. And August 19th of that same year, Universal Studios Florida officially opened the attraction. And then it continued to experience technical issues early on after opening. Now, listen, I understand. Many coasters have technical issues after opening, and normally I like to give them a year or so to really work out the kinks.
Yeah.
However,
look, yeah, that's true. That's true too. Whenever you're opening a theme park ride, it's always gonna break down. You already know in many documentaries when Disneyland first opened in the first 1955, right? Nothing really worked. Even freaking John Hammond said that himself. You know, nothing worked in Disneyland when Walt Disney first opened his first like theme park in Anaheim back in 1955. Everything stopped operating. It's gonna happen, anyways. I don't think. I don't even doubt that in Universal's Epic Universe right now, that a few rides didn't work, a few restaurants didn't work. I mean, remember the preview happened. When it just first opened right now, I think 2 weeks ago, right? There was already technical difficulties in the Harry Potter's Battle of the Ministry at over there in Epic. That's natural. That's gonna happen. I've been to a few I went to I think Busch Gardens, Tampa, and I was in Shikra. Yeah, that on the drop when it was facing down on the drop, it was right. It kind of like stopped. It broke down for a bit, but then things came up and like, okay, you're good, and then it just started dropping. That happens everywhere. That happens in Six Flags. That happened in islands. That happened in Kings Island, Kings Dominion. That happens everywhere. You know, that is the most tracked few. But what I think, the what should have been done is that they could have tested out the rides with like registered testers, with registered people. That could have worked, right? I mean, I know they would play this thing many times, in which they do now. In which they do now. Velocicoaster, before Velocicoaster happened, they had to put in dummies, and that was the concept. They put in dummies and everything. Okay, we're ready for this. We're ready for this. Let's get it going. Right? Let's get it going. They would ride this thing many times. They could have saved. Oh, I should say this. They could have saved a few of the energy, a few days. That's what you could have done. You know, I'm not an expert to that. I'm not an expert to any of the maneuvers because I never touched the tools or have any theoretical knowledge of what roller coasters can do. These are the professionals. Those are the professionals, not me.
A number of Rip Ride Rockit's features worked sporadically or not at all. This was an issue that would continue. To add, there were also operational issues, such as slower than expected loading times that diminished capacity. But what about the ride experience? Well, one of the complaints was that, just like with the Drayton Manor X-Car coaster, that Rip Ride Rockit did have a rough experience, especially for guests sitting in the back seat. Then in September 2010, Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit would close indefinitely. Maurer issued an alert warning that stress testing of its X-Car ride vehicles had found that the coupling bars holding the trains together would not be, quote, fatigue endurable. Okay, I know you might be thinking, lots of great coasters have had construction issues, delays, and even reworkings, and become classics in their own right. Yes, totally. A good example is Maverick at Cedar Point. That had a whole freaking inversion removed before opening. It does sometimes suffer downtime. But
didn't Kingda Cut 2 had to have some refurbishment as well in Six Flags? Or maybe not, no. Ferrari World, yeah, they did. No, Ferrari World, no. And actually I don't know about Ferrari World. All I know is they may had one ride that they closed down that was open for a few years. Much like some of the Italian theme park out there. I think they had that. But Ferrari World, I don't think so. Because they were very new. Those guys are very new.
Maverick is one of my favorite coasters at Cedar Point, and definitely in my top 10 or 20. So yes, you're absolutely right. And I share the opinion that coasters live and die on their layouts.
Yes.
So, the question becomes then, irregardless of Rockit's many issues, did it have a good layout? Is there actually some greatness hidden within? Well, I think this may actually be the more divisive part of the video.
This may be the last.
No, I don't believe so. I kind of personally feel like the layout, I was okay with the layout. Personally, for me, I was actually okay with the layout. Yeah, they did tore down Twister Ride It Out to add for no, actually no. Ghostbusters was there. Because that's the old fans, the old timey boomer X fans that loved the original. They love the original like goes Universal, because Universal was about writing the movies. You know, that's what it is about. Rip Ride Rockit just came out of nowhere. But I think that doesn't care. I don't even care because Islands of Adventure had roller coasters. So why not Universal? Universal has so many indoor rides, but they don't have but one roller coaster would not kill you. I don't think one little roller coaster will kill a person. I think you could do two more if you want, but has to be themed. All of us, such layout. So I've been hearing there were talks of layouts of the layout's pretty doesn't work and stuff. I don't think in the last 16 years since it was opened, that mattered to many of the tourists. And guys like me, I didn't even actually was bothered by it. I was bothered that they might have taken down Twister, but Twister was already old. Times change, much like they did with Nickelodeon. Man, Nickelodeon. I went there many times as a kid till they took it down and turned it to Minion Mayhem. Land-wise, but we're talking about Rip Ride Rockit's layout. No, I could say if there was one thing they could put into it, they could add a few more structures. A few more structures for the theme. Because, despite all the crazy inversion, the weird safe inversions they had, they could add a few decorations, like a theming to the music. Because not many theme park enthusiasts realize that Universal Studios has their own music brand. Universal Studios has their own music brand, Universal Music Group. So this was kind of like dedicated, because that ride, Rip Ride Rockit, was kind of dedicated to Universal's music group. But maybe I'm just tooting theory out. And they could have at least a few audio like theme park audio structures here, a few there, kind of make it like decorating rather than going through the whole of once was Ghostbusters or Twisters Ride It Out. Maybe that could have been the one.
Rocket's experience really began in the station, on the moving walkway, where you quickly jump into the car and
Yes.
pick your soundtrack. Many would say the station was a perfect size for an 8-row B&M train. I'm not bitter. But with Rocket's smaller cars, you only had about 15 to 30 seconds to pick your song.
I did that.
If you didn't pick your song in time, then you were arrested. After the boarding process, you immediately started into a vertical lift hill. Personally, I've always really liked this part, as it was quite thrilling to ascend vertically like that. However, one interesting thing was once you reached the top of the lift hill in later years, the chain lift slowed down to a crawl. This was not a feature. Like, they weren't doing any dive coaster Gerstlauer thing where they kind of slow you down at the top. Rather, it's to stop another consistent issue with the coaster, add 'em up, where the train would reach the second block section before the train ahead cleared the third, leading to a stall and potentially the train behind it stalling at the very top of the lift.
Yeah.
Which,
No.
no thanks. Either way, the train goes down the first drop, which admittedly I do like a lot, and then goes into my absolute favorite element,
I've
the non-inverted
blacked out
loop.
many times.
You get
on
some
this one.
great ejector moments here, and it was quite a unique element in the state. Was it the best element ever that some say it is? I mean, no. Like the Mosasaurus roll is right there, and Iron Gwazi's death roll is not too far away. But it was a fun element no less, and unique. And from there, Rockit enters into the first of its many block sections.
Maybe because at the time, I think people didn't think about it, but at the time, um, it was thought that safety bars won't keep you up, keep you steady from a loop because there's so many loops out there. Unless you were the Incredible Hulk, which has upside down loops and corkscrews and all that good stuff, then you need a shoulder guard. But they built that because at the time, it was just because a loop, an actual loop with the safety bars, which is super thick, and you don't need to go anywhere. Um, no, I think they thought it was that it was unsafe. It was unsafe, and if the ride gets stuck, people might, bad things happen. I think that it was thought, but the loop with a twist, it was the only one. That was probably one of the only rides. No, actually, there were many other rides. There were many other rides actually from Six Flags. Actually, no, yeah, but this one was probably one of the first ones, and it was because people thought they really thought that it was for safe.
And here's where people are a little divided by Rip Ride Rockit. Its countless block zones. By the way, for those unfamiliar with a block zone, ask Eltar or Ryan. But this coaster has not one, not two, not three, but 4 separate mid-course brake runs. I understand.
Yeah, I too. That's the one part I kind of was that I maybe kind of was side on this one because when I was riding it, when I was riding the the roller coaster, yeah, there was a lot of block stops. They'll have like 1 block stop, 2 block stops, and we were just like enjoying the way, and because the ride was basically a minute and 30. The whole ride was a minute and 30, and it kind of like got bothersome for some people because you wanted more speed. I kind of get it on their part because of the block stops. It was just to to stop. You could kind of like slow down the cart and then it keeps doing drops because there were a lot of drops. Without a doubt. That shit had a lot of drops. That's without a doubt.
Mid-course brake runs are important because they allow another train to be dispatched safely from the station and increase capacity and allow the layout to be longer. But that's just the thing. Mid-course brake runs are reserved for, mid-course. Not like, in Rockit's case, the entire course. Now, some people do argue for the mid-course brake runs. Some people say that the coaster tends to pop up into these brake runs, giving you a nice airtime pop on each one. And I will give Rockit that. It does pop into some of the brake runs. But I would also argue that the layout was indeed interrupted each time you entered into one. Pop or not. Okay, but I do want to give one of my other favorite moments. After the first mid-course, you drop down and fly through the old Ghostbusters facade and into a really intense moment called the treble clef element. You got some pretty intense positive G's here, and this can be a gray out moment for some. Part of me really loved the raw intensity that was this moment, but also it felt kind of unplanned. Like the rest of the layout is so meandering that this moment just felt like, oops, we added some intensity by accident. As I said, the rest of the layout was really just meandering, brake run, repeat, all while Limp Bizkit was blasting in your ears. By the way, I don't like how close we got to a Limp Bizkit themed ride, and I hope we never get that close again. But here's the question.
Don't disrespect Limp
Is it truly
Bizkit.
mid? And does it deserve the hate as one of the worst coasters in Florida?
No.
Well, I have some final thoughts on the matter.
Don't miss our biggest sale.
No, it did not. No, I don't think it needed hate. No, the whole world loved that. The whole world loved that. Even if people that are Orlando enthusiasts, that didn't matter to me. That did not matter to me. A lot of people loved that. It meant only probably the most like hardcore coaster fans who've been riding that shit since they were kids in their days, like Dueling Dragons, because they had Dueling Dragon fever. They had Dueling Dragon fever. Let's not forget that. Dueling Dragons was still around when Rip Ride Rockit was still around. Keep that in mind. Dueling Dragons was still around when Rip Ride Rockit was around, which is opening. That was probably mainly because of the whole inversion BS and stuff. They had Dueling Dragon fever. They had Dueling Dragons fever.
Uniquely that you didn't find on other coasters. The first drop was a ton of fun. The treble clef element was ridiculously intense, and the non-inverted loop was super fun too. However, Rockit's main issue was all of that was overshadowed by a layout that kept stopping before it got started. Much like a badly written film that has a meandering plot, Rip Ride Rockit has some good elements and good moments that are overshadowed by a choppy experience. And here's the divided nature of Rip Ride Rockit. Some would argue that doesn't really matter. The brake runs are part of the experience, or the elements are good on their own, therefore the mid-course brake runs don't really matter. However, besides the elements and the layout, much like G-Force, Rockit had many complaints about it being rough, and I have definitely experienced it. It could be. Depending on the car and the seat, it was luck of the draw.
I wanted to black out, which I did. I wanted to get dizzy. I hadn't eaten. I hadn't drank. I hadn't even brushed my. I've only brushed my teeth and that's it. I drove an hour. I would drive there early as hell. Didn't even eat breakfast. I was starving and I wanted to black out. Actually, so all the jerkiness was actually something worth my time in Rip Ride Rockit.
Not to mention, Rockit overall was a huge headache for Universal since its beginnings. I didn't discuss the rebuilding of the trains, the several times it stalled on the lift hill requiring the fire department to be called, the brakes that needed to be added to the first drop to intentionally valley the coaster if it stalls on the first lift hill. There's a lot. And when it comes to Rip Ride Rockit, it feels like the juice just wasn't worth the squeeze. But was Rockit truly a mid-coaster though, deserving of its consistent hate? Well, this was where I differ from some people. I wonder how Rockit would be viewed if it was at a lower tier Legacy Six Flags Park or Cedar Fair. Like, what if Rockit was at Six Flags America or Michigan's Adventure? Somebody's going to be mad that I called that lower tier. Whatever. Would I be making a video saying it's underrated? Would others? It's hard to say. But Rockit has to be evaluated where it was. And in my opinion, between its crappy layout, garish theme, and all-around problematic operating life, it's really not the headliner coaster that Universal Studios Florida needed, especially in a post-Harry Potter Universal.
Wow.
Rip Ride Rockit stood as a relic to the old guard of a resort that was trying to find itself, and often landed on what was hip, cool, and relevant, rather than nostalgic and timeless. It reminds me of why I didn't go to Universal a whole lot around 2006 to 2008. But at the same time, there are many that liked and appreciated Rockit. It was a unique coaster for the resort and for Florida in general. There was only one Rip Ride Rockit. Some would say that's worthy of praise alone. Then again, there are others that say, thank goodness. Do you think Rockit was mid or misunderstood? Let me know down below. And as always, remember rule number 5.
No, I don't think it was mid. It wasn't the best. It was not like world class. None of our theme parks were world class. None of our theme parks were Guinness World Record brokers. They were world class because of technology. They were world class because of its efficiency. They were world class because of our flamboyant. We in Orlando had an audacity to kind of like trying to like compete and glamorize what a theme park can do, what an amusement park can do. I think it was it was probably one of the few rides, besides the Mummy, that it wasn't a screen like a screen ride. Most of the Universal Studio rides were screen rides. The rest were all indoors. We still have the Mummy. We still have Revenge of the Mummy. They better not take that down, because that was probably one of the only roller coasters they had. But what would be better if what they're going to replace right now to something more themed, I think, yeah, it repeated with the block stops. It had repeated that kind of was tiring, but I don't think it would need to be that hated. I don't think people are like, if we hate it too much. I mean, come on, bro. Give my boy Clippy the rest from Microsoft. But I don't think it was hated. We all loved it. We all loved it. Maybe the person, maybe this guy is right. Maybe we only liked it because it was because just the word universal. Maybe that. But hey, there wasn't any other coaster like Rip Ride Rockit. I mean, it became a staple. It lasted 16 years. Think of it. It lasted 16 years. These people, while the last 2010, mid 2010s to the 2020s, Universal was solely concentrating on nothing else but motherfucking Harry Potter. And throughout the 2010s and the 2020s, it was Star Wars versus Harry Potter, Star Wars versus Harry Potter, Star Wars versus Harry Potter, and this was on an old time. I think there wasn't really anything original, and that's another part. I kind of think we need more, or the least, at least one original ride. We remember, like I said, I referred to Dueling Dragons. Dueling Dragons was the first dual coaster and the first, hanging coaster to do like flips that goes close to each other. It was crazy until they closed it down in 2016. Although they kept it for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, now it's officially closed down into something else. That's for sure. They had to close it down. But no, was it hated? If you say it was hated, that's your opinion. I never thought it was hated. I never believed it was like deeply hated. Although I do side with you guys, um, that yeah, I mean the stops were kind of getting bothersome, but that didn't matter. That 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 didn't matter. I don't think that was the case. I didn't think that was the case. I mean, let me see. Let me see the comments. Yeah, me too. Look, this guy said it right. This guy said it right. As an Orlando native and coaster enthusiast, I generally liked Rip Ride Rockit, and I didn't really understand the hate. In my honest opinion, it wasn't a bad ride. It's just not at Universal's level. All this is all in all, this is a really high quality video. Nice, yeah. For those who are unfamiliar with block zones, ask El Toro Ryan killed me. Bro, why? What I wouldn't call it mid for its time nowadays. Definitely, I mean, compared to what manufacturers are pumping out, Corkscrew Cedar was once considered amazing. Yeah, that's another thing too. With the newest technology that now the theme parks have, yeah, that I guess you could say it's now becoming mid because of that. That's another factor too. When it was open, it was crazy. It was just, oh my God, so lit. But when new technologies came up, it was like, now it's starting to get mid. It's starting to get mid. That's probably another one. I don't think they're saying exactly what I said. You know, um, I know for sure that it was not a mid ass ride. I don't think even new kids who rode the new Escape from Green Gots and um yeah, Expedition ever let's compare that, like comparing Escape from Green Dots or Velocicoaster to Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket or Expedition Everest. Compare that to whatever other coaster there is out there now. I don't think there's any decent roller coaster out there. Big Thunder Mountain to Expedition Everest. No, not really. But you know what I'm saying by technology. By technology wise, SeaWorld or SeaWorld, you know, I went to many rides at SeaWorld, but comparing them to Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, yeah, man, yeah, Rip Ride Rocket was mid in their way. Look, I wouldn't call it mid for this time. Mid nowadays, definitely mid compared to what manufacturers were pumping out. Corkscrew was one of the now it's most definitely mid compared to everything else at the park. I'm a little sad to see it go because it was definitely an iconic part of USF's skyline, especially walking up to the entrance. But I'm even more excited for whatever replaces it both in looks and what kind of coaster we'll get. Yeah, that too. Never stood in the criticism on this roughness. It felt smooth to me on any road. Now the Hulk, that shit rattles my head. Yes, it did. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one was wild. Yeah, the Hulk, you know, that shit was jaggy, dog. That shit was jaggy. The Hulk was hella jagged. That shit was hella jerky. The Hulk. I got to ride it in the front row, and it was quite enjoyable. Yeah. Oh yeah. I believe this is going to be one of those cases where people will miss it for even those who criticized it a lot. We don't realize and appreciate that what we got until we lose it. I just hope, yeah. I first wrote, yeah, this guy said it right here. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope replacement is going to be 10 times better. It better be. No more screen rides, God. I don't want another Jimmy Fallon, for fuck's sake. No, no. Do not give me another Jimmy Fallon ride. That was not even a ride. It was just a stimulator. That's it. It was not even a ride at all. Universal, please take down that. Now, take down that Fast and Furious Supercharged BS. That one is ass. That one is definitely ass. I wrote it for the first time last time a week ago. Many HHNs under that coaster. I think it's one of the most iconic skylines ever, coaster-wise. It's non-inverted loop. Line up X cars. Yes, that too. The LEDs were going nuts in that one, and can really bring the skyline at night and during the day together. I would definitely, but I do agree. Back riders did have a rougher experience. I went on the last row, and as soon as I got off, I endured a very bad migraine. Definitely front row second riders had the best feel. Yes, I was in the middle of it. I was in the middle of it. What else? What else? Yeah, I wrote it 2 years ago. This is this and that, this and this and that, this and that, this and that. Yeah, that was one. That was for sure. I think I had. What is this guy to say?
Our series is a
theme park Brandon, and it's time to fasten your seatbelts and hold on, because in this video we're going to be talking about everything about Universal Studios Florida's next major roller coaster, a ride that could be called Fast and Furious Vertical Blitz. With Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit officially history.
Damn. You sure? I don't believe so. Come on. If that's the case, take down that other ride. Take down that other ride. Fast and Furious Blitz? Vertical Blitz? I don't know, dog. I honestly don't know.
And now that we know that USF will be adding a new roller coaster from Intamin, there is a ton of different things to speculate about. So you're going to hear my thoughts on when I think this ride's going to open, why I think it will be a Fast and Furious theme, what they have planned for the old Fast and Furious attraction, how large will it be, and what type of coaster it's going to be, and so much more. But first, let's talk about why USF needs this coaster. Well, I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, if you look at Universal Studios Florida's attraction lineup, they desperately need a marquee attraction to really kind of balance out all the parks. And Rocket opened up in 2009. Sadly, it never lived up to the hype as, let's say, Velocicoaster or Stardust.
No, it did. I don't think so. I don't think so again. It may have. What many people don't know again, and this is, and right now I'm recording this. Sorry. What many people don't know is that, yeah, it had its quirks that really didn't scratch the itch for Universal. It didn't fit in Universal. I certainly don't believe that. I certainly didn't believe that. Because Universal, the music-wise, it was because Universal had its own record label, which is Universal Music Group. And Universal Studios was trying to kind of like represent a bit of that, even though nobody knew about it, because the theme park was all about to ride the movies. Steven Spielberg said that himself. The theme park was only about to, ride the movies. That was it. But, it was just kind of like their somewhat like attempt that nobody knew. But I won't disrespect that. I won't disrespect it because they had some pretty rising, some artists that we all knew that were in Universal's music group, and they were just trying to represent it. Yes, some of them were very random, very cheesy. I mean, the decorations, I think, but no. It lasted 16 years. It lasted 16 years. All right. A ride like Back to the Future didn't even last at 16 years. It lasted merely 8. King Kong, same. None of them last. They didn't last even a decade. This ride lasted a decade and 6 years. I think have some respect. Have some respect.
So by adding a ride of this magnitude to USF will only do great things for it. In my opinion, adding a ride like this will really balance out the playing fields when it comes to Epic, IOA, and USF. I still think Studios needs another attraction to really be on the same level as those other parks. But this ride right here, if it done right, and we know Universal will, is definitely a step in the right direction. Which is why I think this coaster needs to open up sooner than later. I really do think the park is going to be expediting this project, and more on my timeline here in a minute here, but I feel like they know that Studios attendance is going to dwindle without Rocket and just, another attraction not there. So I really think that over the next year or so, you're going to start seeing a lot of hype with this ride. People are going to see it obviously be built in front of them, and then once this coaster opens up, the attendance will come back to Universal Studios Florida on a daily basis. Now, obviously, USF is great for special events, and that's where the attendance really comes into high gear. But, I'm talking about regular hours during the daytime and stuff like that. Universal Studios Florida is obviously going to take a little bit of a dip in attendance due to not having Rocket there.
Man, they had a dip in attendance when Epic Universe came in. I went there. It was almost empty. I had to pay almost $200 in that shit. That shit was almost hella empty. Universal Studios need a mean-ass glow-up. They need a definite glow-up. Stop with the Harry Potter BS. Enough Harry Potter, for God's sake. Bro, put in more rides. Put in more themed rides, I should say. I don't want a Jason Bourne legacy. Bring back the Terminator. Put like a drop ride of the Terminator. Bro, Universal needs does Universal Studios Florida need some serious glow up? They need a serious refurbished build up.
Which brings me to when I think this awesome new coaster is going to open up. Well, My timeline is this. I predict that every piece of Rockit will be torn down and removed off-site by mid-September. Yes, I think within a month, this ride's going to be completely gone like it was never there, including the station. Which brings me to, I think vertical construction on this new coaster will start before the end of the year. Meaning that in late 2026, this coaster could potentially be opening, have a grand opening in December of 26, potentially. But most likely, I think early 2027 would make the most sense as far as the timeline goes, just of how large this project is. And a huge shout out goes out to BioReconstruct on X. Be sure to follow him for all these awesome images from above of the construction site. He goes out of his way all the time for these great images of all parks in Central Florida, so definitely check him out. So why Fast and Furious? Well, it makes the most sense for this coaster as far as the IP goes, in my opinion. While I think Ghostbusters would be a unique name for a ride, I feel like that's more going to be a family-based attraction, not a thrill coaster. So with that, I think Fast and Furious makes the most sense here, especially with, you know, obviously Universal Studios Hollywood's opening up their new Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift Coaster. That's going to be a major success out there. With a franchise like Fast and Furious, high-speed cars, car chases, a coaster makes the most sense, not a 3D ride or a motion simulator. So again, I really think this is going to be a Fast and Furious coaster, and I'm all for that. And as far as the name goes, Fast and Furious Vertical Blitz, well, more on that in a minute, but I really think that that name sounds catchy, it sounds awesome and energetic, just what Universal Studios Florida needs. Now, some of you
Oops, I'm sorry about that. What
sounds awesome and energetic, just what Universal Studios Florida needs.
Yeah, one thing one thing I absolutely demand or declare, is keep the rails. I want more V-rails. That's what I want. I want more V-rails. If y'all know what I'm trying to mean. V-rails are exactly what you remember in many roller coasters in America and all around the world. Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit and the Incredible Hulk. They're basically the tracks like that are kind of like V-shaped. You have the lines. I think, the tracks. The tracks has the V's, the V tracks. That's what I want. I want V tracks. You know, many coasters nowadays here in Orlando are resulting to the European zigzags, the European box tracks, or affordable. What we yet to have, I think, in Orlando is one roller coaster that has the singular track, like that singular track that you see in Six Flags in Great America. That one we yet have to have. I know SeaWorld has been building hella roller coasters all over the place. They're saying, you know what, y'all niggas, y'all can fight it out. Y'all can fight it out. You Disney and Universal, y'all niggas can box it out. We're here, making bangers. SeaWorld is making hella bangers. I'll tell you that. Despite from being an aquarium or losing its attraction of being an aquarium, it made hella banger roller coasters.
Now, some of you are thinking, why would they build a Fast and Furious attraction when they already have one at the park? Well, that's simple. All the park would have to do is simply say the ride's closed forever and then retheme that attraction to something else. Whether it's going to be themed to Back to the Future or something else entirely, this is a big piece of real estate, as you can see right here, for Universal Studios Florida to use. So I definitely see a new attraction being located here very soon after the Fast and Furious coaster opens up in late 26 or early 2027. And let's be honest, Fast and Furious Supercharged is probably one of the worst attractions in the history of USF.
Yes,
now,
it
if you're
was.
thinking about heading to
It
Florida
was
for a
horrible.
theme park vacation, I really want you to have the best experience possible. And while sadly I'm not a travel agent myself, I wanted to create a free website for you to connect with trusted travel agents who will help plan your entire Orlando vacation for absolutely free. After all, planning an Orlando vacation is not only launch or two.
Yeah, God, bro, like Fast and Furious Supercharged is such dog shit. Another one, another ride that is so pointless has to be Kong Skull Island. That ride has to be the most pointless ass ride ever. Like they don't like we have the Lost Continent. You could change the Lost Continent to Lord of the Rings, bro. They have the Lost Continent in Islands of Adventure. They could turn that to Lord of the Rings. Don't put Legend of Zelda. Put Lord of the Rings in Islands of Adventure, bro. And take Kong Skull Island out. It is the most pointless ass ride out there.
I just don't see it. I think it'd be very repetitive if it has launches like Velocicoaster, Hagrid's, and Hiccups.
Nice.
That is why, instead of having a launch be horizontal, you make it vertical. Now, Intamin has debuted this awesome looking concept, the vertical launch coaster, and while we have yet to see one here open up in America, these things are the future. I really feel like this type of ride is going to blow up. And what better way to pay homage to Rip Ride Rockit than having a vertical launch coaster that launches you into a top hat, very similar to Rocket, but only a little bit taller. Now, as you can see, this layout is very skinny, but yet offers so many unique elements, inversions, airtime hills, awesome transitions. There's so many cool things that Intamin and Universal Studios Florida could do with this style of ride in this very, very skinny but long plot of land. That is why, again, I think a ride just like this would make the most sense for Rip Ride Rockit's replacement. Now, before I share with you all my details on just how large this coaster will be and more, if you're looking for some new coaster merch, check out keepridingcoasters.com. I really do appreciate all the support, and I really do serious vertical. I predict that this coaster is going to feature over 4,500 feet of track.
And there's another brand out there that's also competing against Intamin. It's not B&M. I think there's one from China. We gotta check out the ones in China. In China, they had that too. Intamin China. There's a Chinese brand out there that they're also going to be jumping into. I think there's a Chinese brand, either Chinese brand or somewhere or Japanese brand that does build roller coasters. I think also in Europe, they also kind of they are more responsible building a few. I think the Stardust Racers in Epic Universe and parts of SeaWorld.
Reach a top speed of 72 miles an hour, and the tallest point of the ride is going to be the 180-foot tall top hat, which is 13 feet taller than Rip Ride Rockit, which will make this the tallest, fastest coaster you're going to find at Universal Orlando Resort.
Yep.
Throughout the layout, you're going to get flipped upside down 3 different times. I think this ride's going to feature more airtime hills and turns than inversions, just because Rocket does not have any inversions and there's no other ones at USF. So I think this ride, while it's going to be very thrilling, it's going to be more focused on the flow to airtime in general, and just really kind of a cool twisted layout over just all inversion focused. Now this part's really cool. With having such a long coaster, I feel like there's going to be 2 launches, one vertical and one horizontal. And as far as the entire layout goes, well, it's going to cover this entire area here, and I predict that part of the ride's layout is actually going to go over the City Walk path as you see right here. I just think that this makes the most sense. This is how you really get people.
Hold up a second.
Here, I just think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, it's going to take over this whole area too. So you might need a bridge from that side. Yeah, or it's gonna have an opening sidewalk that cruises through there. However, the ones right there, that's for sure. Oh man, I think, but yeah, this ride is.
This is how you really get people to be even more excited about a ride. Something that Islands of Adventure does not offer. I just think that's going to really attract more people to it. Just seeing the ride, but seeing it up close and personal. The station area will be located way beyond the Rocket Treble Clef area, really extending the USF footprint and including a brand new plaza area for the ride. Now, one of the biggest questions regarding this coaster is, what are the trains going to be like? More like Velocicoaster trains or more like the spinning trains that you're going to find at Universal Studios Hollywood's Fast and Furious coaster? Well, since we already have Hiccup's Wing Gliders, Hagrid's, and Velocicoaster featuring pretty much the same style setup, I think that this ride's going to feature the spinning trains. They're going to spin a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit. And I think that's really going to be a very unique feature for this ride. And for marketing reasons
Corpus
alone,
Curse.
I think it's going to be a huge hit. Overall, a ride like Fast and Furious Vertigo Blitz would bring yet another top 10 worthy coaster to Universal Orlando Resort. I mean, when you mix this style of ride in with Velocicoaster and then Stardust Racers and even some for Hagrid's, that is amazing. I cannot wait to see what gets announced, and I do believe that we will start to see an announcement come rather sooner than later because they want to get this ride open as soon as possible and creating as much buzz with it as they possibly can.
Meanwhile, Disney is out there sitting their ass and drinking their booze of how amazing that Tron coaster was built in Magic Kingdom
as well. Now, if you're planning a trip to
Meanwhile, this this freaking roller coaster is gonna be paying homage to Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit, like Sabo was eating the fire fruit from Porca's Ace and back in One Piece. He said like, Ace, I've granted your power, bro. This ride will probably if Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit was Portuguese Ace, bro. This guy then. Intimate this ride with Fast and Furious is gonna be Sabo for One Piece. This is basically a One Piece kind of ride, bro. On God, bro, on God. Oh boy, 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 boy. Continue. Let's get back to the work. There he is right there. Oops. See, this is what we need. That's what we need right here. See, this roller coaster, we have yet to have this ride. We have yet to have a ride like this in Orlando. We have yet to have a sort of roller coaster like this. It's a single rider, single seat, but the train tracks is specific. We need a ride. We need rides like that big time. It's gonna be a long time, bro. I really wanted that. Oh yeah, right here too. There's the characters. Stupid ass. Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit farewell tee. Oh man. Okay, thing. Oh, there it is. That Coaster Force. There it is. These guys. These guys has been a long time around. Oh, these guys have many theme park news. These guys are super. I grew up growing to these guys. Dream Park has opened in Seattle, Washington. What's this one for? Is this Clonoa? Nah, this is not a video game, right? Dream Park? Yes, it's a real life Mario Kart game. Oh shit, they have Mario in this one. No, no, no. It's nothing compared to the Super Mario Nintendo World. Last rides on Rip Ride Rockit Universal have been moved up early September to August 18th. Yet the Mara Custom X car has been played with technical difficulties since opening in 2009. It's been saying that they again, like I said, they've been saying that that happens in many rides. That happens in many, many, many rides. But Six Flags Great America, yes. Latte World, Kong versus Godzilla the ride. So they're gonna do a King Kong versus Godzilla ride in Korea. This is in Korea, dog. Nah, bro. Where's my anime rides? We need some. They had Evangelion. Somewhere on the way. Oh, I think. Shit, I always hated these. Right here. Eh. Shit, this thing is so. But let's check it out more, man. Anyone wants to take a ride on Hollywood Red Rocket? Talk like that, you do. Yes, you do. People miss this. People miss this ride. Ooh, check this one out. Right here. Oh yeah, that's the new art. UMP. Oh yeah, the parade. The Minions. Ah, you see the Rip Ride Rockit roller coaster. This was on the daytime. This was on spring. Back to the Future Ghostbusters there. E.T. Jurassic Park. Oh yeah. Damn, bro. They're just competing at Disney. You know what was also insulting? They've retired. They may have retired uh that. They retired Back to the Future, but they should never retire. Is this boy. That's right. This motherfucker right here. They should never retire. God damn, why am I seeing this shit? They should never retire this guy. They should never retire this nigga. Don't ever retire Woody Woodpecker. This guy would have been the Mickey Mouse. This motherfucker right here is the Mickey Mouse of Universal. And they trying to take his ass down. They have to take his ass down. It's kind of insulting. Now, despite the fact these guys came in too. Come to bro. Someone come to the MegaCon with that cosplay. That's the last one right here. Play that shit. Who else? 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 Oh yeah. Oh no, but this was damn. Think of it. It was the birth. This was the birth of it when it was building in 2009. Oh, I thought this was a deconstruction. Oh yeah, it wasn't. Nah, it was not. But nah, this hella foul. These motherfuckers are hella foul. You foul for this. You foul for this. Nah, Spirit Halloween. Nah, that's foul. Yo. Don't look for it. Look at that. That I remember seeing that. Yep, I saw that at Universal. I saw that in this was 2010. Oh, I think I could add something. I could add. I could just add something. Just like a guideline to help me, bro. I need something to help me. Something to help me, man. This was the one, bro. This was the one. Ooh, the sunset. All right. Ah, damn. I really wanted that. I really wanted that. I don't want to draw the whole thing, man. I could just do something graphic-wise. I didn't really want to draw the whole thing. But yeah, no. Could this be the photo of the Stave Puff Mart? Foreshadowing Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit? No, I don't think so. I got the recording on my last time on Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit, so I'll always remember the fun I had on it. Better have the fun, bro. Hope you guys remember that. Oof. My bad. What is this one? Oh yeah, this is just the rest. Let's check out the latest. Oh, this one in Spanish. Okay. In Spanish. Ya fue la última Let's Dance one more time or I Will Survive de la montaña rusa de Universal Studios Florida. Ayer cerraba para siempre la atracción llena de canciones, guirros y hasta grabaciones de este lugar. Debo de ser el único que esté triste por el cierre de Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit, bro. La recuerdo con mazo de cariño del 2010. Simón. Que cerraron ya. Yo no, y está bien, yo no conozco el odio, lo odio por esa montaña rusa. Sunset are permanently closed. Oof. Damn, that hurts. Seeing that hurts now. But when it was open, this is what it looked like. No, I think no. I was there actually. No, it was already there when I was going to Universal. I first saw this in 2016, 2010, Hollywood Horror Nights. Yeah, I've seen this. Oh man, Hollywood are officially closed. Walls are up to enter as the closer begins his farewell transformation. Shit. Yeah, man. This was I think what year was this? Because it looks old. Farewell forever. Hollywood does 16. Yeah, done after 16 years of service. Its replacement will be an intimate roller coaster. Several options are already being considered. The park bids farewell to an iconic roller coaster unique in the world that defined an era. It did define an era. It literally defined an era, without a doubt. Carlos Coasters. It refined everything. That's why I'm making a fan art. Alright, let's see how this works. Actually, no. I need these guys as a guideline. Let's see. Drawing people. Okay, this one is where I have my characters. My character design comes into play. Bum, 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 bum. I don't know who I'm gonna draw. I don't know what characters I'm gonna make. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a lot of layers. Shit, it's gonna be like part 1, part 2 in this one. Cause no, I want the other one, man. All right. I think that's for now. But actually, I want to also tell you something about this one too. Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit, man. What else I could put else Hollywood? They've been making announcements. Oh, let's see this hate. All right, let's see this haters. I want to see this haters version. Hold on, let's all listen to this haters. I want to listen to this haters. Before I close this down.
Let's go. Come on. Who did that? Get in right now.
No Jews.
Rock and roller coaster from Disney's Hollywood Studios, which it was, and paired with its rough layout and awful train design, is, I think, easily the worst roller coaster in the state of Florida. Now, I've certainly experienced worse. Much worse.
Hold on. I'm recording this right now. See what is going on.
Oh boy, it is finally here, and I am so excited.
So this is
Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit is finally making.
So what we're hearing right now is the haters version of Rip Ride Rockit. I need to understand why. So this is the haters version of Rip Ride Rockit. I want to hear this guy's
trash heap, and it couldn't come soon enough.
This guy hates
from the beginning.
Just from hearing this guy, he hates Rip Ride Rockit.
This coaster always struck me as a ripoff of Rock and Roller Coaster from Disney's Hollywood Studios, which it was.
Okay.
Paired with its rough layout.
Okay, so he was a. Oops, what happened? So this guy was a Disney adult.
Roller coaster from Disney's Hollywood Studios, which it was, and paired with its rough layout and awful train design, is, I think, easily the worst roller coaster in the state of Florida. Now, I've certainly experienced worse. Much worse. And in comparison to what you might potentially find at a local regional amusement park, this is probably better. But when you're a high-demand tourist destination like Universal Studios, Rip Ride Rockit just isn't gonna cut it. Universal first embraced large thrill coasters in 1999 with the opening of Islands of Adventure, premiering with the Incredible Hulk and Dueling Dragons.
Dueling Dragon. This guy probably was more fascinated with Dueling Dragons than Rip Ride Rockit. I don't blame him on that one, but let's hear this guy's world.
What made them notable, other than their theming, and in the case of Dueling Dragons, its dueling aspect, was that the coasters were designed with aesthetic placement and visual kineticism in mind.
Plus, it was a themed roller coaster. It was a original ride. Man, you don't think Rip Ride Rockit was an original ride itself? Sure, man. It was dedicated to something. But I'll explain. I'll respond to this guy once before I watch more of this video.
The way that the Hulk launches you over the pathway and out into the lagoon still resonates really well. And Universal has really embraced this with their newer additions too, ensuring that each new coaster is a visual spectacle that plays with the landscape. For all the flaws of Rockit, at the very least, I think it has become iconic for the skyline of Universal Studios Florida, and plays well visually with City Walk. Its striking red color certainly draws your attention, but is never garish, and the movement of the trains adds a lot to the park, especially during night with its strobing light effect.
Oh yes.
That's where the positives stop though, as the coaster premiered during what I would call the cursed era of Universal Studios Florida. starting in 2008 with the Simpsons ride,
Oh yeah,
and
they
ending
did
in
that.
2018 with Fast and Furious Supercharged.
God, that I swear, Fast and Furious was such dog shit. It's such dog shit. I'm sorry, but you take out Universal. Take out that ride. Take out that Universal Studio that ride. Please, just do that.
This period for the park is what transformed it into the mess that it is today, replacing outdated but classic rides in favor of screen-based attractions that, for the most part, are generally considered to be either underwhelming or just straight up bad.
Jimmy Fallon is pointless, dog. Jimmy Fallon is the most pointless thing ever, bro. I mean, even the opening the ride of Jimmy Fallon, they're just like, "Yo, what was that, right?" And like, even the guest that rode with Jimmy Fallon the ride, literally on the TV said, "Bro, I'm hella disappointed."
In this mess of a roller coaster, you've solidified this era as being a massive misstep in the history of the park. Now granted, while 2019 seemed to be the turning point for Universal creatively with the premiere of Hagrid's and Islands, while 2019
Let me hear this.
as being a massive misstep in the history of the park. Now granted, while 2019 seemed to be the turning point for Universal creatively with the premiere of Hagrid's and Islands, which was followed by other excellent additions in Hollywood and with the international parks, it appears that Universal Studios Florida is still suffering under the curse of bad attractions. Despite its creative ride system, Villain Con Minion Blast is one of the worst rides that I've ever experienced.
It was not even a ride.
DreamWorks Lands is clearly cheap and rushed, likely constrained by the budget for the creative triumph that is Epic Universe.
Yes.
However, now that that park is open, I'm hoping that the studios finally gets the investment that it needs. With the surprising, unexpected closure of Rocket, I'm hoping that's the start of a new era that will bring the park back to greatness. So today, let's dive into a retrospective on Florida's absolutely worst roller coaster and see how it had so much potential that was just completely thrown away.
With a passion, god damn. So Poseidon Entertainment probably was I kind of introduced to Poseidon Entertainment. He did known YouTube videos, known his own indie documentary upon theme parks that were better in the 90s here in Orlando, especially other parks, theme parks out there in the United States and around the world. He did that. He did many of those. He is quite famous about, and I think a few others too, Six Flags too. The kind of like debunction or mystery parts too, but he was more known about theme parks were better in the 90s than today, that kind of stuff. He's very critical. He's very critical of theme parks. Here we go with the ads.
From flight,
I'm on my way.
to job site.
Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit opened on August 19th, 2009. It was manufactured by Maurer Sohn. There's a weird misconception online that Maurer went out of business, a point that I admittedly believe I may have actually parroted somewhere in an old video from 4 or 5 years ago. But while the company did change its name to Maurer AG in 2014, it's still very much in business and producing new coasters. I mention this point because people have speculated that Rip Ride Rockit is closing because Universal is no longer able to acquire parts from Maurer, but that's clearly not the case. What makes Rocket interesting is that the coaster type is quite rare, and is known as the X-Car model. These were developed by Maurer with the intention of redefining the industry, in that while coasters with inversions used over-the-shoulder restraints to safely secure riders, the X-Car would do it with a lap bar instead. The first version of this model premiered in 2003 with Skywheel at Skyline Park.
Dude, what
made it notable was
insane.
the vertical lift hill that transitions slowly into an upside-down lift that brings riders to the top. Maurer built a few other versions of this model, with G-Force at Drayton Manor being a notable 2005 premiere with its bizarre lift hill through a loop.
Yo, the European roller
While
coaster
the restraint system for the X-Car was definitely innovative, as the restraint bar secured riders by holding them in by their stomach, it's just downright uncomfortable, which combines with the awkward coaster.
Bro, give me that. Give me that. I want it uncomfortable. I want it crazy. I want it insane. Give me that ride, man. Give me that goddamn ride. Nah, that is a trip. That ride's a trip.
Elements and layouts led to a model that never really caught on despite its novelty. However, Universal took a chance with Mauer and contracted them for Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit, which took the X-Car and added a touchpad to the restraint where riders could choose a song that synced with the ride layout. The theme of Rockit is straightforward, as it celebrates music, and riders are essentially put into the role of filming a music video. Choosing from 5 different genres on the touchpad, each menu had a list of 5 songs that were licensed and could be attached to a music video souvenir that was filmed by cameras on the ride. There is also a secret menu that can be accessed, where after inputting a code, riders can experience what I believe is at least another 60 song selections, although these are not licensed and can't be used for the video. While the ability to choose your song is unique, even if you stick to the original 30 that it presents you with, Rockit always gave me the impression of being a lesser, derivative version of Rock and Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios.
The difference is that Rock and Roller Coaster is the original, because Disney was the first one to actually do music within the audio, or maybe I'm wrong. But this Rock and Roller Coaster was Disney was the first one. And what's to say too that when Universal opened Hollywood Dream in Japan, they would do the same thing with the same part. I mean, the difference between that is it's just technology. That's it. I mean, you get to choose your song. While Rock and Roller Coaster, the song is whatever the manufacturer plays. Whatever the coaster plays, you listen to it. That's it. That's the main difference. I mean, it's the originality, at least it's not actually copying Rock and Roller Coaster. That's the same. I mean, that's like saying that if I'm making a ride like Jurassic Park at a theme park in Portaventura in España, right? But I wanted to put a simple put a different touch to it, but yet again then I'm being called that, oh, that's copying Jurassic Park at the same time. It's like saying that it's like I built a ride because Jurassic Park did it, and I want to claim as different, even though that's what's basically confusing what I'm saying to myself. That's kind of like a little hypocritical, because many rides wanted to copy Rock and Roller Coaster. Many companies looked up to Disney.
I think that might be lost on people today, but for 2009, the existence of a roller coaster with synchronized audio was still very new and novel. Space Mountain from the Earth to the Moon at Disneyland Paris was the first to premiere with a soundtrack in 1995, which was then followed a few months later with new trains and a soundtrack for the version of Space Mountain in the original California Disneyland. In 1999, Rock and Roller Coaster opened at Disney MGM Studios with its trains synced to Aerosmith, and for most people, this was their first and only experience with music on a roller coaster until the last 15 years or so. That's why, at the time of the premiere of Rockit, it very much felt like Universal's misguided derivative take on Rock and Roller Coaster, which, along with its bare-bones theming and outdoor layout, felt lazy and failed to understand what made Disney's coaster so appealing with its indoor location and theming.
No, I think its theming, it was trying to represent Universal's like music from their records, because Universal Music Group is part of that brand, Universal. Now you can say whatever he says. I mean, I don't think about that, bro. Like he said, it's poorly made. I mean, they say, oh, it was built just to kind of like appease things, man. I mean, this guy's just criticizing, that. Yeah, he may have a point. Yeah, like there's not actual theming of like a music based coaster with just like a Disney's Hollywood Studios Rock and Roller Coaster, but I wouldn't say that if you go to Disneyland Paris where they had the same design. I mean, imagine Rip Ride Rockit was an indoor roller coaster and one with his theming. It could have gone that way. I think the main thing that he's probably criticized about it is that there wasn't really more decoration. I think that's what my opinion is.
The option to have a large song selection was certainly unique, and I don't believe that feature has been replicated anywhere else. But along with feeling gimmicky and having almost no theming, it had one other big problem: the layout.
No, the layout. They talk about the layout. Let's hear this guy. Let's hear this motherfucker's opinion about this layout. Remember, this is the haters. This is a hater of Rip Ride Rockit.
Hi, I'm Devin.
Me cago su madre.
I'm
Sal que era pa' ahí,
I am
chucha tu
Joe,
madre.
not the patient.
After moving through the queue and boarding the train on a belt in the station, riders ascend the 167-foot tall vertical lift hill, which, if you watch the channel on the regular, you'll know that I absolutely hate. Not only do I find vertical lifts to be extremely uncomfortable, but the first time I experienced this ride, I remember the sun being directly overhead, which was absolutely blinding. After cresting the top, the train drops into a non-inverting loop over the Universal Music Plaza stage, which is known as the double take, establishing that the ride's elements and layout is themed to music. I think that despite the execution, which is made unpleasant by the style of trains that lead to the rough experience, the layout is at least notably clever, so I'll give it credit there. Pulling up out of the double take, the train crosses a brake run and dives into the next segment.
Oh yes, I think that's
crashing
what.
through a facade and
I think his hate. I think this dude's hate for Rip Ride Rockit was the stop blocks. I think that's what it is. This guy's hate for Rip Ride Rockit is the stop blocks.
looping up to the left, the train moves through the treble clef, an element designed to resemble the actual musical symbol used in sheet music. It doesn't really follow the shape well at all, but I at least appreciate the creativity. Moving through another brake run directly under the first, riders travel into a section of banked turns that goes behind the stage and over the queue, which is named as the jump cut. Ascending into the third brake run, the track moves out into City Walk, where it dives into a winding trench. Pulling up into an inclined loop, the train exits and enters the fourth brake run, which then transitions into a curvy hill that bucks riders out of the seat before encountering the final brakes right at the station. While my description of the layout is rather brief, the ride time clocks in at around 2 minutes, as you spend roughly 30 seconds on the vertical lift, and many of the elements are long and winding. While the layout of Rockit is clever and quite unique, the X-Cars are what hold it back from being great. Because the restraint holds you in by your stomach rather than your lap, the forces generated from the layout often throw riders from their seat, where they then slam down on their crotch. Where riders are sometimes thrown forward, pushing their stomach into the restraint.
If you want to feel more airtime in roller coasters like Rip Ride Rockit or Velocicoaster, just lock your legs tight on the seat. Like squeeze your close your legs, cleaning highly on the seat and behind the wall. I've done that. I had mad airtime, and that's because you're holding your whole muscles for dear life, and you get dizzy. And I passed out on that. I definitely passed out on that without any signs of sadness,
which can knock the wind out of you a bit. Unfortunately, while Mauer was trying to revolutionize the industry, their trains are just so uncomfortable that the model never really got more than a few coasters past Rockit, and for Universal, they were now stuck with a ride that never really lived up to its potential. Rockit is also infamous for technical issues, as I feel like there's always an annual news report about how people got stuck sitting on the lift hill for hours, and I've even seen a few photos and video of the train's valleying, which appears to happen every so often. In 2020, for Universal's Christmas celebration, which allowed people to view the Macy's Holiday Parade floats in one of the sound stages, I recall actually walking through a queue that went under the track. However, it was clear that a train had valleyed there with a tarp thrown over it, which I guess doesn't really hide the problem, but I did think was funny. From my observation, the ride seems to go down often, and I've noticed that while other Universal coasters will stay open in the rain if there's no lightning, Rockit always seems to close, indicating that even some rain and wind can cause issues.
Maybe it's because of the music. They don't want the touchpad to be damaged, and the whole roller coaster is kind of break down on that because the roller coaster has the touch screens to play the songs. That's one thing, that on the other hand for that.
When it was announced that the coaster would be closing, I was actually quite surprised, because despite its notorious roughness, it wasn't really what I thought the park would prioritize replacing. Still, considering the frequent closures and the very visible technical issues, I think the demolition does make sense.
Another ad.
Modern look.
Another
thick,
fucking ad,
absorbent layers. But these napkins.
Part of why I also thought that the closure of Rockit was strange was because, while people within the theme park and coaster community agree that the experience is quite rough, it's still quite popular with the general public. How often have I read about the experiences of people who thought the lift hill was terrible?
It was very popular. I wanted to ride that ride when I was 13 years old. I remember when I was seeing the commercials of it. I was very young. I never had the chance in my life actually riding that ride. I never actually had the chance of it until now. Until the last days. And I decided whenever I go back to Universal, I am not going to ride any of the other rides that I'm familiar with. I'm going to simply ride Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit. And that's what I did. And thank God I rode Rip Ride Rockit. Thank God I rode Rip Ride Rockit for the first and probably last time. 3 to 5 times. 3 to 5 times I rode that ride. And I'm so grateful for it. This guy, on the other hand, I probably agree. I probably understand his hate against his, of his ride because it always breaks down. But every roller coaster breaks down. When Walt Disney opened in 1955, you probably have heard of this thousands and thousands of times, and I too probably have heard this thousands and thousands of times with many theme park enthusiasts, right? Especially Disney adults to these Gen X, lovers out there. You probably will never hear this response, but many rides broke down. When it first opened, we all knew it broke down. When SeaWorld brought out Kraken, it went good, but then it also broke down for a bit. When Space Mountain or Expedition Everest came up, it was good, but it also broke down too. Every theme park breaks down. Rip Ride Rockit, without a doubt. Epic Universe definitely has broken down. Definitely has broken down. But you know what? I don't think it mattered to anybody. Because the iconicacy for being lasting for 16 years. Now, don't get me wrong. I won't judge Men in Black Alien Attack, for which that ride has been existing for far much longer than Rip Ride Rockit. That's a known fact. And that ride, E.T. and Men in Black Alien Attack, Jurassic Park, the River Adventure, Spider-Man, those guys have been around for quite a very long time. But it's surprising to me that Rip Ride Rockit, has been around for 16 years, which is quite a time. It's quite a time, and I think it's meant to be respected. It's meant to be respected, even if it had its own f-ups. I won't judge it for on this occasion. Because it had brought a lot of people around.
Terrifying, or that they were proud of themselves for going on the first upside-down roller coaster, despite it not actually having a single inversion. I've seen a lot of people asking for advice on Universal subreddits about how to conquer their fear of it, and a lot of others exclaiming how much fun it is and how they loved that they got to choose a song. Do I think it's awful? Yes. But the average person who visits the park isn't going to understand the nuance of what.
Maybe because at the time when they put that inverted loop, it was it was most likely because look, you may have ridden or understand Son of Beast. That is in Six Flags or in Hershey Park, somewhere on one of those parks. Though Son of Beast was somewhere. I don't know what park that is. It was Son of Beast before it closed down because it had a loop. It had a loop. At the time, honestly, they did it that inverted loop. Yeah, it was to look cool, but maybe I think it was also in their close-mindedness at the time. It was kind of feared that an upside down loop with a safety bar would have put them upside down. That was at the time. They didn't think about that. They thought, okay, let's just make something a cool loop, Like you put like an upside down loop, but it was also kind of like corkscrewy with it. So kind of like make it, like cool and safe. Yes, I get it. On your behalf, yeah, Poseidon, I understand. It probably to you was like it's just corny. It was the corniest way to do it. But at their world, hey, safety is safety from at that time. They wanted to look cool, but also safe for a crazy ass thrill ride. That was the thought process. It wasn't that was their idea, unless they thought the same way in Europe. Man, you know how America is. American rides are not as crazy as hell as European rides. European rides are off the fucking hook, dog.
What makes for a good coaster? And for most people, the adrenaline surge or the social aspect of riding is what makes it appealing. I would say that it's actually still quite popular and well liked, despite the reservations of critics. And so, I have to conclude that the technical issues are a big part of what is driving the replacement.
Yeah.
I think it's fairly obvious that Rockit is going to be replaced by another coaster, as there's not much else you can do with this footprint of the park. And even from early construction, which has occurred before the coaster is closed, you can see that Universal is very ready to replace it quickly.
Make a decision.
God, this assholes.
I think that with Epic sucking up so much budget from other projects, which is evident through the cheap nature of VillainCon and DreamWorks Land, a new, quick coaster replacement is actually a budget-conscious decision. Not that coasters don't cost between $20.
Bro, Universal Studios need some. They need a glow up. On God, like Universal, you need a glow up. Take out Supercharge. Take out Jimmy Fallon. Put some new coasters in there. You could do an indoor-outdoor roller coaster like Tron Light Cycle Bike in Magic Kingdom. Do that. You need some rides, man. You need some rides. Or at least more screen roller coaster rides. Well, not actual simulators. No. That's too much. But, Universal's about riding the movies. You give them that.
To $30 million to build today, but compared to complex dark rides, it's actually a relatively cheap return on investment, especially since coasters are almost always a big, marketable draw. Alicia Stella at Theme Park Stop has also reported the rumor that the replacement may be themed to Fast and Furious, which, considering that she also reported on documents that state that the manufacturer is Intamin, I think that very well could indicate that it's the same model of coaster that's being built in California as Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. She also made the point that the new coaster corresponded with the closing of the Fast and Furious segment on the tram tour, and it may not be a stretch to assume that the same may occur in Florida. If this is true, while I think that the park is in desperate need of quality dark rides to replace a lot of its simulators, the new coaster could be the first step in allowing that to happen. At the very least, I anticipate a coaster layout that's far more interesting and comfortable than Rockit, and while I will miss what it does for the skyline of the park, I can't say that I have any other reservations about its closure. I'm excited for what this could mean for the future of Universal Studios Florida, where the curse might finally be broken, and I'm just so glad to see Rockit gone. It's a coaster with a notable music-themed layout.
God damn, you hate this ride, don't you?
Layout that's held back by awful train design. And while the feature to pick your song for the ride was quite unique, it was always a gimmick that tried to copy the success of what Disney pioneered, throwing away the potential for this coaster to do something that could have been more unique.
I would miss these art styles, honestly. I would honestly miss this guy's art styles. I mean, our American art styles, we've been losing this. These are comic book styles, and we've been shitting and shitting and shitting with animation styles that don't look like this. We need more of this, man.
I think that literally any other theme that they could have come up with would have been more interesting. So, goodbye, Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit. Your closure couldn't have come soon enough. I actually anticipate that this video may be quite divisive, especially since general parkgoers do seem to like this coaster despite its many clear faults. But if you agree with me, or at the very least want to support the channel, I would appreciate it if you left a like.
Yeah.
As
despite its technical difficulties that it always had, I never had any hate with it, honestly. I never had any hate with it. Yes, it did. Yes, it did have problems. It had many problems. All rides have problems. Every ride has problems. Fucking, you know, the best coaster in Orlando out there had problems. Let's see this. Bro, that's the coaster that I believe dislodged my kidney stone. Rest in pieces. God damn. Daru Sandstorm and Humble by Kendrick Lamar playing and screaming. My left stroke just went viral. It's such an experience I'll never. I have to respectfully disagree that Rip Ride Rockit is the worst roller coaster in Florida. Yes. The Mind Blower was made by mom's Apple Watch. My mom's Apple Watch called 911 for thinking she was in a car crash. Oh yeah, the Mind Blower by my mom's. Oh yeah, in an expression like that. Choosing the right song to make such an impact on this ride. I vividly remember riding this with Kickstart. Yeah, goes to show how important on-ride soundtrack can be. Yes, because it's interactive. That's my honest opinion. That Rip Ride Rockit would never be hated, honestly, because since Disney did Rock and Roller Coaster. The main difference between Rock and Roller Coaster, because since it was the first one, and Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit, since yes, Rip Ride Rockit is not as equivalent because Rock and Roller Coaster is. Let me rephrase this. Because yes, Rock and Roller Coaster is the OG of audio implemented roller coasters, right? Especially with Space Mountain. Disney first pioneered that. What Disney didn't do was the ability to choose the songs interactively as Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit. Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit is just new. It wasn't just a ripoff. It was new. But that was portraying for Rock and Roller Coaster. But what made it better than Rock and Roller Coaster, honestly, was the interaction that you could play the music that you choose in that roller coaster, like Daru Sandstorm, Daft Punk, to Kendrick Lamar, to Linkin Park. They could put in Limp Bizkit, Hollywood Undead, to jazz, to disco music. They had all these different varieties, and hey, that's what made it iconic. Yes, they had difficulties. Yes, it did. Did it broke down? Yes, it did. Hulk roller coaster did broke down at times, much like Rock and Roller Coaster did broken down many times too. Many rides breaking down, and honestly, that ride was very iconic to everyone's well-being for that. So I think that's it for now. For the stream. Hope you guys liked it. What I say. All my reviews. Also, I want to bring out another kind of stuff to bring it out as well. I'll probably I'll upload a few more videos into this, but we hope we see each other the next time, and we see each other another day, another night, maybe Wednesday, maybe who knows. I'm Element Reptile. I'm your artist. I hope we see you. I hope I try to complete this as well for the time being, man. But yeah, anyways, that's part of the end of my stream. guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, so share to my comments. I probably will try to upload this, although I probably will not. Probably edit the hell out of this because I haven't done. I honestly, my title was website making, honestly, but I didn't do jack shit on website making. I was just basically drawing from Rip Ride Rockit. Epa. But anyways, dale, bro.